So here's part two of video series. Second video series. I'll just call Cosplay for now. My first video series being Madonna movie story. So here I am. I was very thankful that these two young girls, they were about 20, early 20s, unfortunately, which shows you how sad it felt being sort of, I don't know, twice their age. I think it was twice their age. Um, but they were accepting of me. Oh yeah, the manliness. So I feel secure in being a man, and my instincts. I just identify as male, masculine, and that doesn't mean macho. That doesn't mean whatever. But I'm secure in enjoying certain things I just know I like, and it's when society and other people identify and try and categorize. Okay, this is for men and this is for women. Um, it's when it screws up, it falls apart. I know in terms of instincts, I'm secure. I feel secure. I know what I like, what doesn't appeal to me. So, so I felt happy, and I opened up a bit, and then right after around March 2016, that's when I was released from the insurance agency and had to find work again. At that, even before that, I was wondering maybe I could get an while I was still working at this agency. I thought maybe outside of that, I was wondering what avenues could I earn money as like a merman. And I know like San Francisco probably or something, but there are different dive bars. I think they're called mermaid dive bars, where they have mermaids swimming through. And I know in Kissimmee, Florida, they have there's a famous thing where they hire mermaids to swim, and mermen and so forth. Usually, obviously, mostly mermaids. Um, but I liked that idea. I wanted to get a job like that. Why not? I mean, I maybe performing is in my nature somewhere. It's not had a chance to manifest. I know I'm a writer and I've written for a long time. Um, so I have the tale. Can you believe it? So I got the tale in whenever, right close to that time. I think it was even after I was released from that job, that insurance agency. Anyway, I got the tale. I put it on once. It was a struggle to put on, and then I don't think I could even get it on all the way. And then I took a short video of it, and then I had to roll it up, and then we had to move. My mom died. I kept it upstairs. Fortunately, in that house, that new house, we had a first time I ever lived in a house that big. It would be a normal size house to anybody else, or a small normal size house to anybody else. But all my things were on the top floor, the second floor, and my mom's stuff and the rest, and some of my stuff was on the bottom floor, like the kitchen was on the bottom floor. Very spacious and nice. Anyway, I could keep my secret stuff. I could dress up or whatever on the top floor. I only put that on once like I was lying on the ground. I put the tail on and took it off, like videoed for a few seconds, a couple minutes or something. I took it off and then I rolled it up and I carefully put it back in the box and stored it away. And I think it was about that time that I also got into cross-dress. I was curious about cross-dressing, and I don't remember I was usual the way these things are. Somebody getting into cross-dressing, of course, they go for the dresses, the cutesy dresses, and so forth. So I think I got one of those, and I got a little bit. I got like fake breasts I would put on. I think I got a face mask, I remember. But I didn't, and maybe a little bit of makeup. I was like exploring a little, like investigating, trying things a little bit. I didn't get a lot. I tried a few things, and then there was a nice closet. It was upstairs. My mom was less mobile, so she couldn't really move around that much. She was slow, and I encouraged her to keep moving around because It was good for her health. I figured it's good for somebody's health to keep active. I didn't want her to atrophy, and I didn't want her to just rest and sit, because that would probably quicken her death. Um, and what she January again, like December, like December 31st or January something or other. I remember it was has been weird for several years. It's been like a curse almost. I remember she tripped and fell trying to avoid. It was icy, trying to avoid the ice. I think on a grate. She was walking on the sidewalk, or no, maybe she was avoid. I think she was avoiding the ice on the sidewalk. She was walking on the street along the side of the sidewalk itself and she tripped on a grate and fell. Then somebody came and got her, and she was in the hospital for a month recuperating. And I remember at that point too. That was before we moved into the new larger house. Um, and I figured, wow, I could. I remember something like girl type. I didn't have any girl clothing, but like maybe I could put. It was at that time. Maybe I could put fake breasts in. I didn't have any fake breasts, but like something or other for a while, because she wouldn't be around. So I could go to school and I could come home, and she wouldn't be around to catch me. So that was kept secret. So anyway, but now, okay, now I'm in the new house and I'm upstairs and she's downstairs. So she wasn't that mobile. So if I did it late at night and if I kept quiet, she wouldn't notice, hopefully. So then she died. Then I moved to this apartment complex I'm in now. Actually, I'm in the apartment complex now next door to the one I moved into. I moved into the studio apartment in 2019, the beginning of like January. Well, I actually moved in December of 2018. So, but I started really having my first full month in January 2019. And then around 2020, maybe the fall of 2020, I wanted to move out of the studio one. I had stuff stored in a storage unit on Oswego Road, and I don't like. I'd like to get into that sometime. I'm not. My mom, especially when I went through all the stuff after she died, and before I knew that I had to move, I discovered that she had all my. Well, I had known this sort of. Essentially, I knew that my mom kept my drawings and my schoolwork and so forth carefully labeled in boxes. I know it wasn't just box 1, box 2, whatever. It would say like Jeff's interest, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1987, 1988, and that would be a label for a whole box. And then another box would be creative writing, 1984 to 1989, and a whole box carefully. And she was a stickler for keeping it preserved. And that's what's one thing that's really sad about having to move and give up quite a bit of stuff. I hope I took all the stuff that I had, stuff like that, drawings and stuff that couldn't be recreated. And other people have, I think I've gotten the impression they don't really care about it or they don't see any value in it. But I think of it like an arc. Like sometime if they suddenly realize the importance of it, it will not have been destroyed. It'll keep going. And that's how I think about Judaism too, that this Bible has been, and these not only the Bible, but Kabbalistic writings and so forth, it's built into Jewish culture to memorize and to read and to be literate and to keep these things alive. I mean, Judaism has survived the Holocaust for one thing. It survived the pogrom, the efforts over the centuries to like annihilate Jewish culture and Jewish people, but we've still survived. And I think of that in some sense with this. Anyway, I took what stuff that couldn't be recreated. I'm glad I found back before the digital age, really, in the 1980s and early 90s, when you took a picture with a camera, it would put on film, and you would send the film over to like Kodak, like a local Kodak store or whatever, and they would develop the film, and then you would receive it back in an envelope where it would be certain things would be marked, like the date and information, and the negatives would be in there along with the photographs themselves. And my mom they weren't plastic tubs, but they were like cardboard, what she had. All of them, like I found all these photos carefully with the negatives still inside in these envelopes, all the information on the envelopes and the photographs, and I mean, maybe they were all kept in the same order. I don't know, knowing my mom, or well organized even within the envelopes. So I ordered a large plastic container, because I did my research and I found that plastic retains, plastic, there are certain advantages in terms of storage that plastic has over cardboard. It's sturdier, and it won't be eaten away, and it won't be weathered, so forth, and wither away, be torn or anything. So, and also won't affect the ink so much. So, I got a large thing, and then with plastic cartridges that you take out, and then for each plastic cartridge you take out and you open up, I put the photographs and the negatives that went with the photographs in there, and close them up, and then so there were cartridges all in. And I noticed photographs she had kept of her family. I don't know who. I've reached out to my family members. I'd like to get into that in another video. I like to, if it seems sensible, and I'm not talking about that. I'm not revealing things that people don't want revealed. Like basically opening up about family members. I like to get into it. I'll have to think about that. But anyway, I found photographs of her as a toddler and her brother as a toddler and so forth. And it's amazing. All that preserved, so it's kind of sad that I had to move. I'll get back to talking about my main topic of cross-dressing and these other fetishes and so forth. So I had to move, so I moved into a studio apartment, and that's when I started buying a little bit more. So I guess in the next video, I'll get into how my cross-dressing developed into, like, as a talent, kind of like as a goal. So I'll leave it there for now. Watch for my next video. Should be part 3.